Proposals have been put forward for every school to display a giant picture of the Queen, have a Union Jack flag flying high, and for every child to learn and sing the national anthem. I think this is a great thing. Anyone who says, well, it's just like China, isn't it, is clearly an idiot. We're not being accused of having an ongoing genocide in our country, for example. There's not the total suppression of political freedoms. And if a child doesn't sing the national anthem in this country, then their family probably won't go missing. I think we have a dangerous lack of patriotism in this country, especially amongst the young, epitomised by children at Pimlico Academy demanding that the national flag be removed. Their head teacher gave in, presumably because he's about as weak as a cup of very milky tea. What next? Pupils demanding that they have never to sit exams ever again. Oh, wait, I suppose teachers have already put that proposal forward for them, haven't they? Anyway, kids in Britain are being actively taught to hate this country, in my opinion. Whether it's by pumping them full of critical race theory, teaching them that Winston Churchill, the man who defeated actual Hitler, might have been, in fact, a villain, changing the school's name because it's found out had a distant relative that was a slave trader, or making 6-year-olds apologise for the empire. It's become commonplace to talk this country down. Patriotism has become a dirty word. Theresa May didn't even want to fly the St George's flag above Downing Street when England were in the semi-final of the World Cup, for goodness sake. When you go on holiday, the national flag of that country is everywhere, isn't it? Why not here? How have we ended up in a situation where if you have a flagpole in your front lawn, people assume you're probably a racist who spends their spare time cruising the channel with a harpoon? Children should be taught to love this country, not criticise it. Children should be taught that this proud nation has always punched well above its weight, whether it's creating a catalogue of unrivalled geniuses like Alan Turing cracking the Enigma code, Sir Isaac Newton off of gravity, creative juggernauts like William Shakespeare, Bobby flipping Moore, who's pretty much the only man to ever look Pele in the eye and say, no, not today. We've defined and then redefined music, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and to a much greater extent, Atomic Kitten. We did once rule the waves, and we should be taught that that is a proud, proud thing. If people don't like this country, then fine, I'll drive you to the airport myself. It's totally self-defeating to teach a generation of children that Britain is a deeply flawed nation with a criminal past, and that if you like the Union Jack, you're probably an uncultured, simple little Englander with some fruity views about foreigners. Who wins there? You create a generation of disillusioned youngsters who, frankly, would get a terrible shock if they emigrated anywhere else in the world and realised that the grass really was greener back at home. On a slightly more serious note, I do worry about how on earth we're going to staff our military going forward unless we instil a bit of patriotism into kids. If we continue to have kids taught by over-unionised, sock and sandal wearing, Guardian-reading weaklings who probably would have been conscientious objectors during the war, then how do we expect to churn out anyone willing to fight and die for Queen and country? We're at risk of our army being entirely staffed by lads from Carlisle, which in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, because lads from Carlisle do tend to be absolutely massive. But this is my point. I do think there should be a picture of the Queen in every school. I do think there should be a prominent Union Jack. I do think that kids should learn the national anthem. And I do think that they should be taught to be proud of this wonderful, quirky, punchy, plucky little nation that, frankly, the rest of the world is lucky to have.